Okay, let's look at this one. It says a 9.3 gram bullet leaves the muzzle of a rifle with a speed. So it gives us a gram bullet leaves the muzzle of a rifle with a speed of 392.3 meters per second. What constant force is exerted on the bullet while it is traveling down a 6 meter length of the barrel of a rifle? Okay, now this is a little bit harder of a question. What we're trying to do is we're trying to figure out what the force is. Now remember, force equals mass times acceleration. We have the mass, okay? It's in grams. We can convert that to kilograms just by dividing by 1,000. And so what we'll see is we're going to have a mass of 0.0093 kilograms. And that's our mass. Now what we have to do here is the other portion that we need. Since we have mass, all we need is we need acceleration. So we're going to calculate acceleration. We're going to have to do that using our if-that equations. Now, what do we know about the bullet? Well, the bullet was initially at rest. It had an initial velocity before it was fired of 0 meters per second. Okay, we know that it has a final velocity of 392.3 meters per second. So velocity final of 392.3 meters per second. What else do we know? We know the length of the barrel. So we know the distance. So we know the distance is going to be distance equals 0.6 meters. Okay, and what are we searching for? Well, we're searching for our acceleration. Okay, so if we do if that, here's our variables, that's what we have. Let's go ahead and let's do if that and figure out what equation we're going to use. IFDAT, and we see that we have initial velocity, we have final velocity, we have distance, we're searching for acceleration. So we're going to use the equation that does not have time. Okay, that equation we know is acceleration equals our final velocity squared minus our initial velocity squared all over 2d. Okay, that's going to be our equation. To solve the rest of the problem, all we have to do is plug in our variables. So we're going to plug in our initial velocity, we're going to plug in our final velocity, and plug in our distance. Now, once we plug all these in and we calculate it, that will give us our acceleration. And then all we have to do is take our answer to the acceleration, multiply it by our mass, because remember mass or force equals mass times acceleration, plug all those in, solve for acceleration, multiply it by the mass, and that will give us our answer.